Hello, how are you? My name is Karissa Dean, and welcome to Critical Conversations. I have been a huge fan of podcasts, and I have been told many, many times that I need to start my own. So, you guys, here I am. I am starting Critical Conversations, and this podcast is going to be unlike any other you have ever experienced. I am going to be bringing on guests and hosting conversations around topics that your mother wouldn't approve at the dinner table. So please be aware there will be a few fucks and a lot of laughs along the way. We're going to lean into difficult conversations and we're going to enjoy our time together as we learn to hold conversations without judgment and really understand what's possible for us when we lean in to these uncomfortable conversations. What can we learn? How can we evolve? How can we grow? So today, this first episode is really just who am I and what makes me qualified. So my name is Karissa Dean. I have been in the coaching industry since 2019. In 2020, I went through a mentorship training through my first ever coach, and her company is A.B. Coached. And she trained me and taught me everything that she knew. Antoinette, thank you so much. I worked for her for about 3 years under A.B. Coached as her head coach. And last August of 2022, decided to step out on my own. My business is called Life, Business, and Beyond. What I've identified through my personal experience here on Earth is that all three, life, business, and beyond, beyond standing for spiritual and religious beliefs, they're all connected. So everything we do is connected. So we cannot improve one area without taking ample time to look at the others. So a lot of people come to the coaching or personal development space and they say, oh, Karissa, I want to make more money in my business, or I want a better relationship, or, I just need to be more connected to my inner being and my guidance system. And we have to dig into everything. So Life, Business, and Beyond was founded 1 year ago, and now we're starting Critical Conversations. One of the things I love so much about the work that I get to do is I often go first in life experience, and then I get on a call with a client and am able to hold them in a way that is so unique because I've been through it. So I have been married. I got married to my husband, Nigel, in 2011. I actually moved in with him after college in 2010 and got married shortly after that. We had our daughter after struggling to get pregnant and a few miscarriages. We had our daughter in 2014. So I do identify very closely with women and mothers. I was raised in a religious background. My mom is a pastor for a Foursquare Christian church, and my dad never went to church. So I have quite a complex story. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. My dad took over that business, and now my brother, who's 2.5 years older than me, runs that business. So I have been well versed in business. I've lived it, breathed it as a young child, and now I'm married to a serial entrepreneur, and some might consider that I am also a serial entrepreneur. My husband has a multitude of businesses that are independent from this business. But I did work alongside him for about 4 or 5 years, and it was grueling. And we came to a head and decided that we'd rather be happily married than business partners. We started buying properties and I started managing those properties. So I have a property management company called Ruby Red LLC. It's actually one of my favorite pastimes. And I really think that one day I'm going to have either a badass resort or compound or hotel because I really have been leaning in and loving the hospitality industry. I love walking people through booking all the way through their experience to how was it? Like, give me that feedback. What can I improve? And that was really my first dabbling in being open to feedback, was in that industry. I actually went to college and got my degree in dance. I got a minor in entrepreneurship and a minor in psychology. That was just sheer luck because I dabbled around in what the hell am I going to do with my life for so many years. I dance semi-professionally here in Portland, Oregon with a company that is no longer existent, Agnieszka Laska Dancers. Shout out to all my loves out there, and shout out to Agnieszka. We traveled the U.S. and also Mexico and Europe. And I was so privileged to have that experience. One of my favorite memories of being a performing artist is we often played or performed with live orchestras or live bands or live musicians. And let me tell you, like, it is unlike anything else to have to adjust choreography in the moment based on the musician. We did a lot of really cool, crazy things. I could talk about that forever. I love dance. I coached dance team here in Portland Public Schools. I dabbled in substituting and played around with taking a long-term position as an educator, but never really landed in it because it never felt right. But I was a substitute teacher for quite a long time. And I really liked it. I was able to dabble in teaching dance in the public school system. And then I also, joined in on the classroom. I actually thought about going back and getting my master's, applied for it, started the program, and then ended up not going through with it, which in a hindsight is a blessing. Because who knows, I could have been sitting in a classroom instead of here having critical conversations with you. In 2019, I was very depressed. My daughter had started preschool, and then we were just getting ready for kindergarten, and I was pretty much suicidal. And it was interesting because from the outside looking in, most people would have looked at my life and thought to themselves, she has everything. She's got a husband who, does quite well for himself. She's got multiple properties, like she has a Volvo. Her daughter's healthy. She has dogs, basically could do whatever I want whenever I wanted. I could travel. We traveled a lot. We ate out a lot. I had great meals all the time. But you guys, I was fucking miserable. I remember so vividly multiple times. And even now, there are certain things that happen in life and it takes me back. But there are certain times the feeling comes back. Yeah. Sorry. Getting distracted. I remember feeling like it would be such a relief if my car suddenly was plowed by a truck, or what would happen? I remember having this thought, what would happen if I just ran full speed, like just put my foot to the gas and ran into this bridge or this wall or this tree or this light post? Really, really disturbing thoughts. And I went to therapy, cried a lot, realized I was holding on to a lot of grief from miscarriage and not having the ability to get pregnant again and have more children. And I was also holding on to a lot of grief around feeling purposeful in my work. I had a great schedule. I got to pick and choose when I worked. I got to pick and choose how much money I made. I was pretty on demand. People were constantly asking me if I was available to sub. I could stay home and be with Ruby if she was sick. I could travel, but I was miserable. I was grieving this non-purpose living life. I think that oftentimes, especially with women, we're very judgmental of each other, but what that really means is that we're judging ourselves. So what I had to do in therapy was get really honest with what was mine and what was somebody else's. And along the way to, through therapy, I joined a group through Facebook, met Antoinette and started working with her, hired her for coaching, and had like immediate aha moments where I realized like I was my own fucking problem. I was my own worst enemy. And the only thing that was actually in my way was me. And so once I started like down this rabbit hole of personal development, you guys, I can't even tell you, I was so addicted to it. I suddenly found myself reading again, really being excited about, taking classes, educating myself, books, podcasts, anything I could get my hands on as far as mindset, spirituality, business, purpose-driven life, all these different, books and things, which if you stay connected long enough, you're hopefully going to meet a lot of the authors of some of the books that changed my life. If you follow me on any social media platform, I post a lot about what books I'm reading. I started reading like a book a week and really digesting the work. And at the end of my time with Antoinette, she really opened my eyes and was like, you're kind of a natural coach. Like, what do you think about doing it? And I was like, what the hell? Like, what do I have to lose at this point? Like, I'm pretty miserable. And yeah, let's give it a go. So I actually joined her training program, went through it, started coaching under her. It was awesome. And it was the first time in my life I was like excited to wake up. I was excited to have something to do that felt bigger. It felt like I finally landed in my purpose. And I worked with her and, she was an incredible mentor. And I think that naturally, as things do, we outgrow certain situations just because we're not meant to be there forever. I know we had a soul contract in a past life and we broke that contract this round. And that's what we were meant to do. That's what she agreed to do. That's what I agreed to do. And, I'm forever grateful. And I think that there's a lot of misguided information out there around, what it means to be a coach, what it means to be a mentor. And she really held me in the beginning of my growth journey. Since then, I have really just ingested information, that all the information I can get. So, one of the things I love is human design and the gene keys. So people who work with me, get to understand their human design, which is really validating. Gene keys is also super validating. I'm really digging into numerology right now, which is all based on your birth date. It's actually a really old proven method. My mother-in-law actually opened me up to it. After I went to a 10-day silent Vipassana retreat last year. And so I'm really, at the time I wasn't super into it, but now I'm getting into it. So, what qualifies me to be a coach is a lot of my life experience. I am almost fully complete with my ICF certification, just waiting to make that final recording, submit it, and get the stamp of you are an ICF coach or not. I have a good feeling I'm going to pass because I've been working with Momentum Education. I've taken basically every course that Momentum Education has offered, and that has radically transformed my life. I continue to invest in coaching to the point where my husband is wondering if my business will ever make money because I tend to turn around and invest it as quickly as it comes in. So, life, business, and beyond is within its first year, and it's been quite a successful year. I'm really proud of how I've chosen to lead myself, how I've chosen to wear my heart on my sleeve. And that is why Critical Conversations is coming to the forefront and coming to you wherever you are listening. I am self-taught podcaster, self-taught marketing, self-taught social media marketing. I should, clarify that. I haven't read a ton about it. I'm just now digging into the value and importance of it. I actually was off of social media for quite some time because I really believe that life is meant to be lived and not screenshot. or recorded. So, as a family, we really try to digitally detox and leave our phones as often as possible. Just trying to think about what else you might want to know about the voice behind critical conversations before we dive into our first conversation. One of the most fascinating things about me is that I really like a multitude of different things. So as I mentioned, I was a dance educator for some time. I did own my own dance studio for a hot second. Total fucking failure. So I have owned a business that has totally failed, and I tried like hell to make that thing work. But let me tell you, it wasn't my purpose. So it didn't work. And I really can see that now and believe in that. I don't dance anymore. I actually probably would rather, like stand in the rain for 5 hours than ever teach a kid how to do a plie or a chaîné ever again. Like, honestly, really burnt out on it. I used to coach dance team, gave that up last year. The universe kind of put that to a giant head. It was probably the worst year of my life in coaching. And definitely had to be that way. I can see in hindsight how if it had been a more fun or productive year for me, I probably would have stayed and continued on. And it was definitely time to be released. So dance is no longer really a big part of my life. I do have my yoga teacher training, 200 hours through Breathe for a Change. I'm a social emotional learning facilitator. I really believe emotional intelligence is going to be the key to helping our world transform. I think the more aligned we are in our emotional intelligence, the better we are as humans, because we can identify where we're leading consciously and unconsciously based on our emotional intelligence. We can talk more about that later. I have 3 dogs, Bernie Doodle, Frankie V. He's my baby. He's the first puppy I ever purchased. Forever thankful for that credit card. Probably cost a lot more than he should have by the time I actually paid the card off. So that is something I love to talk about with my clients, money and credit cards, and how to get out of debt, stay out of debt, make money. There is a book that is titled that, by the way. It's great. It works. I have a chocolate lab. He's 6. His name's Valor. He's my husband's dog, goes everywhere with my husband. And we just adopted last year Blanquita Bonita Corazon. She is straight off the beach in Nicaragua from SOS Animales. They have an Instagram. They're great. If you're looking for an organization to donate to, that would be one I'd highly recommend. I know the owner, Delaney. She's amazing. And Blanca is definitely the coolest dog. She's amazing. We also have 3 horses that we picked up last year, Blossom, Ophelia, and Cookie. They are drum horses, which are a breed that is crossed with Clydesdale, Gypsy, Banner, and Shire. So they're my 3 gentle giants, and they're all babies. They're 3, 2, and 1, so they're not rideable. A lot of people in the equestrian world would push you to say that a 3-year-old you could break and train, but in fact, horses, especially giant breeds, drafts, which drum horses are draft breeds, which, by the way, if you need a visual, just think of the Budweiser commercial, pulling the carts, and or Queen of England pulling carts, literally drums on the back of a horse, right? Okay. Anyways, the top line of a horse, which is their back, their spine, where you would put a saddle, where you would sit, where all the pressure of horseback riding exists, doesn't actually stop growing until they're about 5. So I am not going to push the health of my horse for my own selfish entertainment. So right now they're just giant pasture pets. We are doing some horse shows. We're really excited about that. They're lovely. We're doing a ton of groundwork. I love passive leadership training as far as like horse and being a horse communicator. I feel like my equestrian life and journey of learning how to be with horses, train horses, is really impacting the way that I'm showing up as a coach as well. So it's really interesting when you start to connect the giant web of your life, and you can see how everything is coming together to connect and create something really amazing and beautiful for you. So, got into the equestrian world because that is what my daughter wanted to do. And I'm the mom who was like, let's go, let's figure it out. Had she wanted to be a ballerina, would have had that one figured out. She did not. She hated dance. We did nutcracker her. Not a thing for her. Had she wanted to be a drummer or a musician or a singer or actor, didn't matter. We were going to do it. So here we are. And, you know, I have to say, I love it so much. It's really become a healing thing. And like I said, I've learned a lot about myself, leadership styles. You know, horses can't lie. There's a book that says a horse can't lie, or horses can't lie. And, in that book, the author, I forget his name, it's Mark something. He talks a lot about, you know, how, you know, the energy that you bring is how your horse is going to respond back to you. So a lot of the work that I do with my clients and my coaching business has benefited through my equestrian, all the different clinics and things that I've done in that world. It does cross over and translate, because let me tell you, if you show up to work a horse or do anything and you're having a bad day, you're going to have a bad lesson with that horse. And probably why I had a really hard day yesterday. Because, you know, sometimes you just have bad days, and that's okay. So this is a little bit about me. It's a lot about me, actually. I love to do a lot of different things. And, you know, I think that passion for life is what I'm passionate about helping my clients hone in on. So if you are feeling any sense of like, you know, discord or discomfort in your life, lack of purpose, lack of motivation, lack of direction, lack of clarity, lack of vision, you know, I'm your girl, because I've been there. And I think that is what makes me successful in my business. That's what makes my clients successful. I've had a handful of success stories with people just feeling better because they feel more connected to themselves. So the work does start within. But once you kind of start cracking that life open, then you get a crack business open. We always touch on spirituality. I love meditation. I may have mentioned I have done a 10-day silent retreat in the Vipassana method. I love that method. I've been craving going back to a 10-day silent retreat. Have just not carved out the space for it. I went, I think almost 2 years ago now, and I haven't gone back yet since, because of just different COVID protocols and vaccination requirements. And so I'm hoping to get back on a regular schedule of attending yearly. That's kind of been a goal of mine forever. So that's me. That's what Critical Conversations is about. I'm so excited that you're here. This podcast is going to be done differently, and I hope that excites you. I like to keep switching it up, keep you guys engaged and informed. If there's a topic that you think needs to be brought to the table, be sure to send it in an email or a DM. All my social media channels are Coach Karissa Dean, with the underscore being the space in between each of those words. And you can always email me, hello@karissadean.com. To learn more about me, my official bio, or anything else, you can visit the website, karissadean.com. All right, y'all. These conversations are going to be short and sweet. My goal is to make them 30 minutes or less so that you can consume during your commute. All right. I think that's it. I'm not doing intros or outros because let's face it, y'all skip that shit anyways. So you know what you're coming to play. There might be a little ding 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 or a boom 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 to enter and exit, but y'all know why you're here, who you're here, what you're listening to, and I just want to say thank you for being part of my journey. Have a great day.